All right, so I just watched A Christmas Story for the first time. It was a classic for a lot of people. A lot of people have seen this movie. I had never seen it up until now. I lived a whole 23 years before I had ever seen it. So is that an accomplishment or shame? I don't know. But here we are. It's this. It's This movie. This movie really is. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about this movie. Like, freaking, the beginning of it feels a little off. I don't know how. Kind of movie overall just kind of feels kind of not quite finished. That doesn't feel like the right word. No, that's not it. That's not it. Like, I don't want to hate on this movie. This movie is a classic for a reason. So I don't want to come out here and feel like, I don't want to come out here and say that like it's bad or it's not good or whatever, because that's just not fair. I don't think. I don't know. It might just be because it's from the 80s, mid 80s. When did this movie come out? I have HBO Max pulled up here. This is where I watched it. When did this movie come out? 83. Oh, early 80s. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess because this came out in the early 80s, just something about the way movies were made back then doesn't quite click anymore, I don't think. But again, it's a classic for a lot of people. A lot of people love this movie. There's a lot of people. There's like on a lot of people's lists of movies to watch around the holidays. So like, clearly there's something here that's clicking for everyone else that's not clicking for me, and that's fine. Whatever, I don't care. But like, it just, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. Nothing about it just really clicked into place for me. The whole thing with the bully, that's just kind of there, just because I guess they felt like they had to. Because like, if your movie is centered around a kid, then there has to be a bully character. Oh, jeez. If your movie's centered around a child, then there has to be some sort of other kid who's really antagonistic, like a bully or something. So like, I guess that kind of feels like it's just there out of obligation. And then it comes back, and it does end up kind of sort of coming back around with him beating up the bully and swearing a bunch, and the mom sees it and doesn't tell the dad. Was that supposed to mean something to us in this movie? Because it feels like it just kind of happens and just, okay, cool. What? I also say I think it's clear it's supposed to be a scarf. I'm wearing it as a scarf, whatever. It's got a little jingle bell at the end of it. Yes, yeah, it's got one on both ends. Ain't that holly jolly? I just wanted to point that out in case you hear jingling. This is gonna be like the video I made about Marvel Frostfight, isn't it? Freaking, I'm gonna be wearing this hat and this scarf. I'm gonna be sweating a bunch, but I wear it for the content. Sure. Whatever. Back to the movie. The whole scene with the freaking, when they're on the road, tire goes flat. Dad has to get out and then fix the tire, replace the tire. Mom's like, "Hey Ralphie, you go out and you help your dad." This one time, he's like, "Oh sweet, okay," and he's holding the bowl with the nuts in it, and then something happens, nuts go flying. And he drops the F-bomb. And it's like, "Oh, you swore? Put the soap in the mouth? Where'd you hear that word?" "Oh, I heard it from my dad. I can't say that. I heard it from my dad. I heard it from another kid at school." And I'm like, "Oh, you did you? All right, I'm going to call the other mother. Hey, your kid said a swear word, and my son." And then my kid heard it. And then he gets spanked, I assume. I assume it's a spanking. I assume he gets a whooping. And then the next day, they go to school, and it doesn't get brought up at all. Maybe we're supposed to assume that the other kid that the mom just didn't tell him? But I don't want to believe that, because that's just bad parenting. There's just a lot of things in this movie that could just kind of happen, it feels like. Like the first thing that we see them at school, freaking, like literally everyone in the class is all wearing these, like, fake teeth or whatever, and they're all giggling like we did a thing, and the teacher And the teacher figures out, finally turns around and sees, oh, all right, give them up. All right, yeah. All right, you're going to put them in the confiscation drawer, and that's the end of that. We don't need to worry about that ever again. It doesn't mean anything. It had nothing to do with the plot or the story whatsoever. We didn't learn anything about the characters. It didn't help in the story in any way. It was just kind of there. Okay, but why? Same goes for the kid licking the pole and then getting his tongue stuck to it. That's like a whole thing. That's like a whole section of the movie dedicated to that. Why? Okay, cool. That happened, but why? I'm trying to adjust my scarf. Excuse me. I've never actually worn a scarf before. This is new for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I think this is right. This feels correct. Freaking darn it. Like I'm fabulous. Which I am, clearly. You think anyone else could pull off a drip like this? There's just a lot of moments in this movie that just don't seem to connect at all. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the idea is that it's just a bunch of scenes just to encapsulate what it feels like to be a kid, so that, like, if you're an adult watching this, it brings you back. Or it's meant to feel like it's meant to feel like it is being told by a kid, and it just goes off in these weird tangents that don't really mean anything. Is that the idea? Because I saw in the opening credits this is based off a book. Is this stuff in the book? And they just felt like, oh, we have to put it in because it's from the book. Or is this new stuff that has nothing to do with the book whatsoever? It's not in the book at all. But then they decided, no, let's have this in because we need to pad out the runtime, I guess. I feel like there's something here that I'm missing. There's something here that I don't understand. And I want to know. I want to understand. I want to know, can you show me? Can you tell me about the strangers like me, or however the hell that song goes? It's a really good song. There's a whole thing with the lamp. I guess it's funny. And silly and whatever. But just why is it there? Is it just supposed to be something to laugh at? Like, I feel like if you're gonna put so much attention on the lamp itself, then the lamp has to mean something later on. Like, there can be moments in the movie that are just kind of funny but don't actually mean anything to the overall story. But then something in the scene will matter. Generally, is how movies work, as far as I'm aware. There shouldn't ever be a scene that's just kind of there just to be there and doesn't have any real functional purpose in the movie. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not a writer or director or whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I'm a professional at this stuff in any way. But as far as I'm aware, this stuff is supposed to be important in some regard. All this stuff is supposed to say something. You're supposed to tell me something here. One way or another, this scene is supposed to mean something to the overall story. But there's so many things in this movie that just don't do that at all. They're just kind of there, and then you laugh maybe, and then it's gone. Maybe I'm missing something. I feel like I probably am missing something. If I'm missing something, tell me what it is I'm missing, because I want to understand. I want to understand what it is that's clicking for everyone. That's not clicking for me. Because again, like I already said, plenty of people watch this movie every year. It's a classic for a lot of people. There's clearly something that's clicking for everyone else that's not clicking for me. There's clearly something here that I'm just not understanding. And I'm okay with that. It's very clear that there's just something that I am missing here that everyone else understands. I would like to know what that thing is. Yeah, the freaking Little Orphan Annie radio show thing. That's strange because it again doesn't have anything to do with the overall story that is being told here. And secondly, you're telling me this is a movie that came out in the 80s and it's about a little boy in the 40s, it said in the description on HBO Max. There's a movie that came out in the 80s and is meant to take place in the 40s. But the little boy is into this thing connected to Little Orphan Annie? That feels out of place. As far as I was aware, as far as I understand it, a young boy would be ridiculed for being interested in something like that. But no, it's treated as if it's this cool spy detective thing. Which, yeah, a lot of boys would be into, stereotypically at least. But, like, what? Why is it Little Orphan Annie then? What about the Orphan Annie is like spy espionage or whatever? Like there's just no connection there. What was that? What the hell was that? I don't understand that one. That one really doesn't. That one really confuses me. And another thing, I hate to keep pointing out things and then be like, this doesn't need to be in the movie or whatever. But just the little brother as a whole, why was he there? Did the little brother really need to be in the story? Couldn't you just make the story without the little brother in it at all, and it'd be kind of the same story, and it would change like nothing? You don't really miss any. If you were to edit this movie and then cut out everything surrounding the brother, everything with the tongue sticking on the flagpole, and some other thing that I've forgotten, if you were to cut all that out, you wouldn't miss anything. Again, there's got to be something here. There's got to be something here that everyone else understands that I'm not understanding. There's got to be some sort of thing that's connecting, that's clicking for people that I just don't get. I don't want to say it's a bad movie. It seems very clear that there's just something that I'm missing. Something that's clicking for everyone else, but not clicking for me. I don't want to say it's bad. I just want to say that's not for me. So, like, whatever, I guess. Either way, I will not be adding this to the list of holiday movies for me to watch. Holiday movies and specials. I actually did go through the effort of actually making an actual list of movies and TV specials to watch for Christmas and Halloween this year. So I've been trying to go through those. I'd show you the list, but it's on my phone, and I'm recording this with my phone. Having a camcorder would be real good, wouldn't it? Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's the end of this. That's all I have to say. I have nothing else to say. Just this movie isn't for me, and that's fine. Okay. You can like it all you want. I don't care. It's not going to affect me any. I have no reason to tell you not to enjoy this movie. If you enjoy it, fine. Go for it. Oh, also, side note, I didn't. The old classic gag of seeing the word fragile and then reading it fragile. I didn't know that was from this movie. I didn't know that. But it's from this. I didn't. Look at that. I've learned a thing. All right, cool. Bye, I guess.